Eva.
I'm Peter.
Stark. That's who we are.
I grew up in Pottersville, New Jersey, which is like 15 minutes away from here. What's the rest of the question?
Where do you live now?
Where do I live now? I live in the cottage. I work in home remodeling, and then I also work at the church doing cleaning and custodial work.
I grew up in West Orange, New Jersey, and I work in Glasswork Studio in Morristown for, it's an art studio.
I grew up in a Christian home, and so I was kind of always introduced to the concept of God. So I made my first profession of faith at the age of 4, but I don't actually remember it. That's what I've just been told. So I've made a lot of professions of faith, but in part because I was insecure about my salvation. And then later on in high school and then in college was when I finally came to terms with who God is, who am I in relation to God, and I think really accepted the fact that Jesus died for my sins, and I want to live for Him.
For me, we actually have pretty similar stories. When we were younger, I also grew up in a Christian home, and I accepted Christ around like 4 or 5, and I remember I was like praying at the window, and I was like, oh God, please come into my heart. And then I thought about it, and I said, well, maybe that one didn't work. So I said, oh God, please come into my heart. And I said, oh no, I prayed that an even amount of times. What if I'm supposed to pray an odd amount of times? So I said, oh God, please come into my heart. And I said, no, wait, what if I was supposed to pray an even amount of times? So I stood there praying over and over. Oh, maybe it was odd or even amount of times. So I asked Mom, I said, what if I pray an odd amount of times for God to come into my heart? Can He leave? And she goes, no. And she said, funny thing is, I did the same thing when I was a kid. I kept praying. I thought He could leave if I didn't pray enough. So then I realized that, God doesn't leave when you ask Him to come into your heart and you choose to follow Him. Also in high school was when I began to read the Bible more and research for myself why I believe what I believe. So.
Okay, how did we meet?
At the airport, Newark Airport, and we were going to Tanzania to spend a semester abroad. And Peter was a student, and I was had just graduated, was going back on the program as a nanny and teacher assistant.
We had like 3 hours together in the airport, I think, before our flight took off, so that was how we really started to get to know each other, and then started dating when we were in Tanzania, and then here we are. I talked to Eva first, yes.
No way.
Wait.
I said, hi.
Oh, wait, about...
Are you Peter? And you said, yeah.
Oh,
so
wait.
I talked to you first.
What do you mean by who talked to who first? Yeah, that was, anyway, that was me. For me, I grew up at this church. For most of my life, I've seen it as the church that my family goes to or that my parents are involved in, and I just kind of am along for the ride. And now that perspective has switched to where now I see both of us as invested in this place, and I don't know, wanting to make the next step to be involved, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that we didn't really see the importance of becoming members for a while, and we talked about that, and we were like, we're good, we're good kind of on the sidelines, but then we realized that to really become involved and get to know people more and be able to make decisions and hear really what's going on rather than secondhand, we had to become members, and I think it's really important. We're helping out with youth group on Wednesdays, and we also do the young adults 20s to 30s that we needed a better name for group. Oh yeah, who's up for it? I challenge you. Good question.
Yeah.
It's hard to be new. You have to kind of be brave to walk into a new place or a new church, either with yourself or your family. I know I felt very welcome when I came. There's lots of activities and groups that we are just starting up and lots that have been going on for a long time. So for different ages, for kids, for adults, there's a ton of activities and groups to get involved in if that was something they were looking for.
I've always kind of felt like this church functions, it just feels like family. All the people here, it just feels like an extension of your family. And so if someone new is coming in and they're looking for that, I think this is a great place to sort of plug in, get to know people, and then, you know, just learn to live life together in a way. I think he was asking who asked who out first. Wasn't that what you were asking, basically?
You guys are still talking about that, huh?
Yeah, I was
That was
like,
the
why'd
best
you say
question
you
we
talked
had.
to me first? Because I talked to you first. Right? Oh, he asked who out.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, remember I came over and I said, you know.
Yeah. They're filming.